Supporter-only tittle tattle is underway. Thank you to the supporters on the editorial board on Locals, Rockfin, and Patreon, because you are going to get this show in its entirety, and this is going to be a good one because in the world of actual real news, this is not an SNL skit. This is not fake. This is actually happening. MSNBC's Jen Psaki, who you may remember was Biden's press secretary and also worked with Obama. She is now an MSNBC host, and she has been tapped to MC the 33rd annual First Amendment Awards. Yes, everyone, the press secretary who is part of the lawsuit named against Biden for coercing tech companies to censor conservatives. And this judge, we'll read about this in a second, is basically like, yep, she is going to be the face for the RTDNA, the Radio Television Digital News Association's 33rd First Amendment Awards as protector of free speech. I'm going to read the announcement in a second. Bill, when I first sent this to you, what was your initial reaction?
It's I'm very much eye roll and like really, but I'm not surprised in a way because I mean, who better to represent the First Amendment awards than a White House press secretary, especially during the COVID years? I can't even say it with a straight face.
I did laugh out loud when I saw this. I have so many things I want to say about it, but let's just first go to their announcement. They're going to honor 13 individuals and organizations for their efforts to promote, protect, and defend the First Amendment. It's going to be on March 9th at the Watergate Hotel. And they talk about her background. Psaki appears across all of MSNBC's flagship programs, adding a unique perspective from her firsthand experience at the highest levels of government. As press secretary, Psaki was lauded by the Associated Press as a communicator who, quote, dug deep into policy, seeking an understanding that goes far beyond talking points, and was celebrated for bringing, quote, a mixture of warmth, humor, intelligence, and edge to her role by Vogue. Prior to her time in the Biden White House, Psaki was a longtime advisor to President Barack Obama, served as a traveling press secretary for his first long shot campaign, and later served as the White House communications director. And also traveled the world with Secretary of State John Kerry. Yeah. So anyway, they don't mention the fact that, there's this massive lawsuit against the Biden administration for censoring speech during COVID specifically, and Psaki being named in it. They failed to mention that. So my first sort of question about this, I guess, is, Bill, there's no way that RTDNA doesn't know about this lawsuit. I mean, they absolutely have to know about this lawsuit. They know the allegations against the Biden administration, but in their brain somehow, you can do that. You can pressure tech companies to get people off of social media platforms and get information off of social media platforms and still be a First Amendment advocate. Can you explain to me how they hold these two in the same brain space? How is that exactly?
They just don't care. That's the bottom line. They wanted a name to put out there. And Jen Psaki, whether you like her or whether you don't like her, Jen Psaki is still a name. She has, I don't want to even say gravitas. I think that's too strong of a word, but she has experience. She has wrong experience or right experience. They just wanted somebody who is popular to the segment that serves the lamestream media. That's just the gist of it. Let's be honest about it. Now, would we be the same surprise if the conservative right-wing media awards asked Kayleigh McEnany to host? No, we wouldn't. But so that doesn't surprise me. But the fact that they are going to this step to have the censor in general, that's why I like to call Jen Psaki, because and miss the circle back girl. What was the song, Allison, by No Doubt lead singer, the blonde who's
Oh,
married to
Gwen
Blake Shelton.
Stefani.
Yeah,
Gwen Stefani.
yeah. Ain't no holler back girl. Well, Jen Psaki is the I ain't no circle back girl. So the fact that they have her doing it, it's not shocking, but it's disgusting and it's wrong. But what are we gonna do?
Well, I would be shocked if RTDNA had Kaylee McEnany as the host. I would genuinely be
Oh,
shocked about this.
I would get first class tickets.
And people should know that RTDNA is like kind of a gold standard in journalism awards. They are the ones that do the Murrows. And, the Emmys are kind of like news prom. It's cool to have them, but it's not really that big of a deal. Like, I've got a couple. I look at it more like my station paid for these like gold trophies. And, we've talked about the mess that is the Emmy judging. It's not really that big of a deal. But the Murrows are often looked at, especially the national Murrows, which are again handed out by RTDNA. They're looked at has a far more elite journalism award. And so this is like in the world of TV news, the Murrows are one of the top awards you can get. And so it's just wow. Okay, so let's play this quick clip. Okay, this is again the future MC of the Free Speech First Amendment Awards for RTDNA.
Who are producing 65% of anti-vaccine misinformation on social media platforms.
Can you talk a little bit more about this request for tech companies to be more aggressive in policing misinformation?
Sure. Well, first, we are in regular touch with these social media platforms, and those engagements typically happen through members of our senior staff, but also members of our COVID-19 team. Given, as Dr. Murthy conveyed, this is a big issue of misinformation, specifically on the pandemic. In terms of actions, Alex, that we have taken, or we're working to take, I should say, from the federal government, we've increased disinformation research and tracking within the Surgeon General's office. We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation. We're working with doctors and medical professionals to connect to connected medical experts who are popular with their audiences with accurate information and boost trusted content. So we're helping get trusted content out there. There are also proposed changes.
By trusted content, she means propaganda and the stuff they've decided that they're going to allow you to see, which a lot of it was a lie.
What are we talking, propaganda or content that fits our narrative? Are they one and the same, or is that two separate things?
Same. I mean, it's just their content that fits their narrative that they want the public to bite into, that has a specific intended goal in mind to formulate society in a specific way, which in their particular case was everybody needs to take this vaccine. So anything, like she said, anti-vaccine information, that was considered misinformation. Before I give like my entire hot take on all of this, and why I think she can say something like that and then also be in this lawsuit and then still be tapped to hand out these awards, I want to say that I think in their brains, the journalists, a lot of journalists, and I guess RTDNA, believe that they believe, number one, that what she's saying about misinformation is true, that it is really misinformation, that what they were removing from the internet was actually misinformation, which is not true. They were removing a lot of stuff that was true, and they were forcing their perspective, that's the nice way to say it, on tech companies.
Right.
And so these journalists must think then that if they really believe that what the government was doing under this case was protecting the public by removing speech, and just taking them at their word that speech was false, they must think then that the First Amendment only protects the right speech. That in my mind, that must be somehow what these people are thinking in order to tap someone who, as a protector of the First Amendment, who says stuff like that. They must think the First Amendment is there to protect correct speech, which I thought the First Amendment was to protect all speech.
Exactly.
Maybe I was like missing something here, or maybe
I've had
too much wine. Hang on, Bill.
Okay.
Have I had too much wine? Is that my problem?
Maybe
So.
Maybe.
It might be. Okay. This is not misinformation, what you're about to hear. But if you want to go on the comment section and say you hate my wine, I'm not going to remove it. Okay. AllisonWinePromo.com. At my award show, which is going to have like 3 people, and Bill's presenting.
No, now that's not fair because last year the alleys had like 600 views and during the live show, and we had like a big panel of guests. So
you're right.
Don't say that.
Well, we need to get the alleys back. But anyway, if you are going to our award show, you're only going to be drinking AllisonWinePromo.com. So make sure you bring your own bottle. It's BYOB, AllisonWinePromo.com, 50% off my favorite Malbecs from Argentina. These are bold, extreme altitude wines. They come from small family farms, hand-picked grapes. One vineyard's over 200 years old. A very, very high vineyard. I can't remember if it's like the third highest in the world or third highest in Argentina. Who cares? It's my show. They're not going to rip this offline if I get my wine pitch wrong. Anyway, she doesn't care about that. But I bet somewhere they're going to be wishing at the RTDNA award show that they're not drinking crappy wine and they're drinking AllisonWinePromo.com. So you know what? Send them an AllisonWinePromo.com. We know where it's going to be, the Watergate Hotel, early March. Send them a bottle, put a note on it that a message in a bottle and something that is censored, and remind them of the censorship. Okay. Leave them a little note and make sure you say, I sent you. And they'll probably come show up at my house and call me a terrorist and send me to jail for this. But anyway, AllisonWinePromo.com. So Bill, yeah, my thought on this is basically that in their brains, I think they have somehow redefined the First Amendment, just like we've redefined a lot of other words. And they are redefining the First Amendment as speech that they like, which they would say is true speech. Then this other stuff was a danger to public health or whatever. I'm sure they would do the mental gymnastics. But for any journalist to genuinely think that Jen Psaki is a defender of free speech, you must have to redefine what free speech is or what the First Amendment is. There's no way that the original First Amendment fits with Jen Psaki as protector of it. That's what I have to say. Before we cover supporters only, Bill, please.
No, I completely agree with Allison and that sentiment because the First Amendment is not absolute. Let's be honest about that. You can't sell child pornography. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. So the First Amendment is not absolute. We understand that and we get that. But intelligent, free thinking Americans know that when somebody claims that ivermectin, oh, wait, did I just get us banned on YouTube?
Don't say what they claim. Just say claim something about ivermectin.
They claim something about something that they could get at a horse show. Let's just go to supporters only because we're done.
Okay. I want to just let everybody know before we go at P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida 34432. My P.O. Box is waiting for your letters. Please send me some mail. Send me a picture of your family. Some guy sent me a CD of a song you wrote. Send me bumper stickers. Send me a winning lottery ticket. Send me some cash if you want. I have really appreciated all the mail I've got. It's really cool to get real mail if you don't like credit cards online. It's a great way to do it, and hopefully see you over there. And then also don't forget, join the editorial board where we're going to continue live. AllisonMauro.locals.com. $5 a month. Go one-on-one with the most censored people on the internet. Ask the questions you've always wanted to ask. Support my work in the meantime, if you're not a wine drinker, especially. And don't forget to check out the comments and description and everything. There's a lot of different products. There's vitamin D cod liver butter oil. There's natural rub, actually same company, the Green Pasture Company, Twin Engine Coffee, indoor grow system, all kinds of good products to support my work. Really appreciate everybody wherever you're watching. And Rumble, thanks for being there. We will see everybody over on the editorial board now.